Yeah, read the big red words. Spoilers ahead. The Bad Batch Season 3 is out, and it's setting up a lot. And the last two seasons did set up a lot as well, and hopefully this is a conclusion to a lot of those stories, but I'm not here to talk about that now, am I? No, I'm here to talk about Omega in the Bad Batch Season 3, Season 2, Season 1, whatever you want to call it, and that little fun ball of blonde energy. Now, she is one of the most interesting characters to come out of recent development. And I'm not saying that because she's better than any other character. I'm saying it because there's so much more to her. She's unlike any other character we've ever seen. But before we get into it, please hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, leave a comment, share the video with some friends or enemies or whatever. I said enemies. That's weird. I meant enemies. You know what I meant. Anyways, why? Why do all those things? Because it's freaking Star Wars, baby, and I'm here for it all. All of it. All right, let's get on with Omega with all that out of the way. I know that's in every YouTube video ever created, other than my other channel. I don't do that in my other channel. Anyways, so let's get on with Omega. Omega, the unaltered clone of Jango Fett. But I don't see how she's unaltered. If she's a female, her chromosomes have been altered. Okay. Maybe she's one of the more pure of the Jango Fett clones. Boba Fett being the only true unaltered clone that we know about. Say what you want. Her DNA wasn't altered, but her chromosomes were. Anyways, we don't want to get into that too much. This isn't about that. This is about the paradox that is Omega. Okay, first, so we're going to talk about her age, and that'll come into play in a little bit. She's right around probably between 10 and 12 years old. So we'll go with the middle and say she's around 11 years old. It's pretty young. But if you look at the timeline, this is roughly 4 years after Attack of the Clones. Okay, so that put her around 7 or 8 years old in Attack of the Clones. That means the clones have been cloning Jango Fett for approximately 7 to 8 years at least, if not more, prior to Attack of the Clones. I'm going to say more because Boba Fett was at least 10 years old during Attack of the Clones. So for at least 10 years, the Kaminoans have been cloning Jango Fett for this Grand Army of the Republic. So that means that Palpatine has had this plan in place since just prior to the Phantom Menace, and we know that because we've seen Tales of the Jedi, we've seen the Phantom Menace and all that, so we know that to be true. So Omega is right around 11 years old, give or take a year. Yeah. So the clones of the Bad Batch, or Clone Force 99, are roughly 6 to 7 years younger than Omega. But let's look at her mentality. She's optimistic. She's crazy about helping people and all that stuff. She sees the good in everything. Well, that's because she's lived a sheltered life on Kamino and hasn't been through the Clone Wars the way the brothers have. Yeah, that's an easy one. Okay, we can all figure that out. That war has traumatized these guys. They've seen a lot of negative things happen. They watched a lot of their brothers die, and even some people that they were probably in command of or fighting alongside of. They've seen a lot. She has not. So her mentality is a little bit different. She's a little more, or a lot more optimistic, and she sees the positive in everything, the good in everything. She's able to connect with animals. We now know that she is also force sensitive, so that gives her a little bit of a heightened ability, making her technically one of the Bad Batch, one of Clone Force 99. She's a defective or effective, whatever you want to call it. That isn't even the biggest thing that makes Omega a paradox. The biggest thing, or one of the biggest things that makes her that way, is her maturity. She isn't as mature as her younger brothers. Now, I don't know if that comes with the enhanced aging process, that they mature quicker as well as just age quicker to jump into battle, because they need big people to go into battle, but they also need mature people to go into battle. Now, I'm not saying that Omega is immature by any means. She is a very mature person for 11 years old. I don't know if I was that mature. I don't know. Maybe I was. But she does do foolhardy things like an 11-year-old would do, like create an escape without having a plan, like going after Count Dooku's treasure without having backup, knowing that that crate is just dangling there on a cliff. Now, even though she's older than her brothers, her maturity level is a little lesser than what her brothers is. And once again, like I said before, that could be because of war and enhanced aging processes that the boys were able to mature a little bit quicker, or a lot quicker. They're full grown ass men. She's just a little girl. But there's more to it. Yes, there is more to the paradox that is Omega, and that is, in this scenario, she is the exact opposite of Palpatine. Emperor Palpatine, the Emperor, Shivi boy, whatever you want to call him. Call him whatever you like. Nobody cares. So when Omega is in a dark setting, let's say when she's talking to Crosshair through the bars of the cell, there's darkness, but there's light shining on Omega. You see her face constantly. It's never hidden. But when you see Palpatine, his cloak prevents you from seeing his entire face. You can see his pointy nose, his pointy chin, and his mouth, but you can't see his eyes, meaning they're hiding his intention from you. We all know what his intention is, but they're hiding it from the rest of the characters in the show. Now, the characters in the show think they have this great Fuhrer who's going to lead them to victory and has their best interests at heart, when in fact he does not. Everything he is doing is for his own self-preservation. It's for him, his own power, his own glory, his own long life, wanting to clone himself and become something eternal. Not going to happen, buddy. That's proven later on. But then we flip over to Omega. You know, the light's always shining on her face. She's always so optimistic. She's always so happy to be doing everything she's doing, even when they're in the middle of a battle. She's optimistic. But she's not there for self-preservation. She's there to keep her family together, her brothers and her. She even goes out of her way to bring Crosshair back into the fold, not giving up hope on him, even back on Kamino when Crosshair pretty much said, you know what, this is stupid, you shouldn't be doing this. And then back on Tantus, he says, you know, we shouldn't be doing this. You're kind of stupid. You have too much optimism. You have too much trust in people. I'm not the guy you need to be messing with. She still brings him in. She still brings him in to the fold, bringing him back to the family, helping him escape and showing him what the right thing is. Now Omega's already lost Tech as a brother. Yes, Tech is dead. I'm sorry. You can unsubscribe now because you feel like Tech needs to come back. But not everybody that dies in Star Wars needs to come back. I'm sorry. It's not going to happen. Anyways, so Omega lost Tech, and she's damn well not ready to lose another brother. So she's trying to keep as many of them together as she can. And she lost Echo as well when Echo left to go join Rex. Right. So when she met Clone Force 99, Echo was already a part of it, so she considered him a brother as well. She loved him, even though she felt like she was inadequate in his eyes. Later on, he proved that she wasn't, and all that good stuff. So yes, her age, her mentality, her maturity, the light that's shown on her opposed to the darkness that's shown on Palpatine. This is a character that we haven't seen before. Now, everybody can scream at me and say, no, Luke Skywalker, he was the greatest. He was the best. I'm not saying Omega's the best character ever written. I'm saying she's the most optimistic and the most paradoxical. I think I said that word right. Anyway, so even Luke Skywalker, when he was in training, he had doubts. He wasn't very optimistic. He had doubts in himself. He had doubts in the Force. He had doubts in Yoda. He had doubts in Obi-Wan Kenobi. And he sometimes had doubts about going against the Empire. That was just Luke Skywalker, and it made him a great character. It made him deep. Now, Omega, I'm not saying she isn't deep because of those things. I'm saying that, yes, she's a different kind of character than we've seen before. Okay, maybe aside from Boba Fett in the book of Boba Fett, he was pretty damn optimistic. That was just weird. That's not bad. It's just a different turn than I thought they'd take in that story. Anyways, so yeah, let me know down in the comments below what you think of this. Is Omega one of the different characters that we've ever seen, and how she's portrayed as herself being light and Palpatine being the dark? I know she's not the arch enemy of Palpatine by any means, but he is after her, and she's trying to escape him because he wants to use her blood to shoot it up in his veins or shoot it up in somebody else's veins and create another image of himself. Does that mean he's going to become a clone of Jango Fett? Haha, think about that one. All right, calm down. I know he's not a direct clone of Jango Fett. He just has a little bit of his DNA in him to help with that force sensitivity that Omega's carrying. I know that, and I know most of the DNA in there is Palpatine's DNA. Speaking of which, there are a lot of vials of his blood. How much blood can this dude give? Holy crap. Is he giving like once a week or every other day? No wonder he's all pale and wrinkly like a scrotum. Oh, boy. Anyways, this is Gerald, a Star Wars fanatic, signing off, wishing you all great health, happiness, and peace. Do not forget to hit that subscribe button, the like button, share the video with a dog or some friends or some cats that you have around or whatever. Thank you all for watching. Remember, this is the way, and positivity in the Star Wars community can be the only way.